Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 2, Episode 14, Ham Radio News and Updates, 5/29/2024. Good evening, everyone. I see Cooley's in there. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody else that's on. Got some we're kind of do a Hamvention wrap-up kind of show tonight with our news and updates. And, we'll kind of start with that and show you a few clips from Hamvention. We had a wonderful time. Absolutely had a wonderful time there. Of course, it was great getting up and seeing the grands. Okay, I got to see our granddaughters and spend time with my daughter and her husband, my son-in-law. Just absolutely had a wonderful time. Weather was great. Although we stayed, just to kind of let you guys know, we stayed in the west end of Columbus, Ohio, because I'm very familiar with the area because my son and daughter, my oldest son and daughter, went to Cedarville University, which is about less than 10 minutes from Xenia. So I'm very familiar with the area. I knew exactly where we were. No problems. Well, on the trip from Columbus, like I said, we stayed on the west end. It was about 45 minutes. It poured down rain the entire time. I mean, it just was soaking. Just a Florida rain. Okay. And if you guys know what I mean by Florida rain, it's like you have your wipers on fast and you can't see. That's pretty much what it was like. And by the time we ended up getting to Xenia, the rain had completely subsided. It had stopped. And one of the things that they do tell you when you're going there, and one of the things I highly recommend if you haven't been, this is kind of like, lesson learned kind of a thing. Although we didn't need to do this. We parked at the high school, okay? And then they have school buses to take you over from the high school over to the fairgrounds, which it's probably less than 10 minutes over there, probably 6 or 7. It's not really that far over there. But I also learned how steep school buses are getting onto now because they sit up higher than when they used to. And I told my wife, I don't remember it being that steep. I had to use both handrails to get on, and I wanted to be real short. And the seats are very narrow because obviously they're designed for adults. They're designed for children. And they're real high, again, for safety purposes and everything. But all in all, that went real well. When you get there, you have to understand, if you park on site there at the fairgrounds, it had rained. And people say, if it's raining, you don't want to park there. Well, we did witness on our way out as we were leaving, several cars got stuck in mud. All right. It was, like I said, it had poured down rain, and it's all a grass field, and it all became a mud pit over there. And tow trucks were having to be called to pull people out. And yeah, it was a mess. Well, also too, in walking in, all right, all that mud gets, on the pavement area, and both our shoes were just completely caked with mud, although we had some Clorox wipes and I was able to clean them up later, but still it was very muddy there. And one of the real interesting things for me was we were there for a few hours, and I only saw Frank from Tank Radio there. We went to all the buildings, not in any specific order, but we went to all of the buildings. We saw most of the outdoor, swap meet. And like I said, I only saw Frank. I didn't see anybody else there, and it tells you. And what we'll do is this. The first thing that I want to do is they published attendance figures, and I wanted to go over this because I thought this was pretty significant here. Okay, Hamvention 2024. Hamvention General Chairman Jim Stroms is proud to announce that the 2024 event had a record-setting official attendance of 35,877. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. It was wall-to-wall people the entire time there. I mean, and let me say this. Hamcation, you probably had, I'm just going to throw a number out there, maybe 5 food trucks, if you want to call it that. Here at Hamvention, you probably had easily 20, maybe 25 there. And lines were you probably had to wait at least 45 minutes in a line to get food. It smelled so good. We didn't eat there. We got some drinks there. We didn't eat there because I didn't want to spend my time in line. I wanted to go to the exhibit halls and see and walk around and take a look and see what was there. That was the first thing that really kind of struck me was all the food vendors that were there. I mean, it was just crazy. At least 20, 25, maybe even more food vendors there. Excuse me, I don't want to say food trucks, but I don't know. Okay, it was amazing, and second of all, the amount of people going into the buildings. I thought it was going to be kind of easier going through the buildings, and looking at being able a chance to stop and talk to the vendors and everything. It was wall to wall people. For example, the aisle that Ham Radio Outlet was down, it was so packed you couldn't go down it. There wasn't any room to go down that aisle. Uh, DX Engineering was very spread out. They had a huge area over there, and if you've watched my video was we pretty much did a complete walkthrough of everything. And if you watch that when I went through the DX Engineering area, it was very big there. I mean, it was so incredibly large, and they their area for sales was in a separate area, and it didn't seem as busy as Ham Radio Outlet, but because it was so spread out, I think there were people that were buying things there from DX Engineering, but it wasn't packed like it was at HRO was very packed, very packed there. I was yeah, kind of surprised by that. But it was good getting around to take a look at the different vendors. Some of them that weren't there at Hamcation were there at Hamvention. Again, Chameleon, I'm at a loss. I can't explain why they weren't there. That kind of was a little puzzling to me. But most of the other vendors that were there were ones that I had expected and to see. One of the big presents, and I'm going to say they probably have about the same size area at Hamcation that they did at Hamvention, was Quicksilver Radio. And I've spent a lot of money with Quicksilver Radio. They have outstanding products, and they're probably, I'll call them the best, power pole cable, accessory cables, air, for ham radio around. They're fantastic. I do a lot of business with them, and they have answered my questions, and they have gotten me cables that are perfect for my situation. They have done absolutely fantastic there. Just a whole host of other vendors that I didn't see at Hamcation, I did see at Hamvention, which was very interesting. And I went around and I tried to get to talk to some people. I wanted to talk to John Kruk. I didn't see him at the Yesu area. They had a very large presence there at Hamvention. I did see Ray, and Ray, as always, is busy. Did get a chance to shake his hand. If you saw the video, I was able to do that with Ray. So it was like I said, it was very crowded there in all of the buildings. And like I said, because it was muddy, I mean, you were tracking dirt and mud everywhere. But what I found was real interesting was there were ample places to sit outside, which was nice. Remember, this is a fairgrounds, and what they had on the sides of the buildings were like these mini grandstands that were set up. So there was plenty of places to sit if you got tired and needed to get a break from that. That seemed to work real well. Andy, welcome. Good to see you tonight. It was very not very nice, very nice to do that. So, all right, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you an excerpt, one of our favorite parts, and one of Valerie's favorite parts. She really liked this. Now, we actually, I take it back as far as YouTubers were concerned. Frank was the only one that I saw, although he was busy recording and I didn't want to interrupt him. Okay. We did see somebody who we saw at Hamcation there, and I'm going to go ahead. Let's make this bigger here so you guys can see. Very interesting. Now this is on the outdoor flea market vendor area here. And there are a lot of very interesting items for sale. No, we're going to come up. We're going to come up and see some old friends that we saw at Hamcation.
Right there.
Oh, this is his sister. You can, but you just have to be brave. You just come in and just kind of right here.
You shouldn't work kind of thing. Tell me it doesn't work.
The infamous mochi. Yeah. So.
We saw you guys at Hamcation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. A little wet, but
yeah, I know. I didn't record a lot today because this morning was so.
Oh, it was horrible this morning. It was just absolutely horrible.
Everything's wet.
Oh yeah. Did you have a good trip here?
I did. I stay at a hotel up in well, from me, Mississippi to Knoxville.
Okay.
And in a loft hotel, they're animal friendly.
Oh, good. Very good.
I think that they went up on their fee from $25 to $50. But heck, I had 3 ducks.
Well, if you don't know, that is Ham and Quackers. Okay. We did see them at Hamcation. They have, I believe, 3 ducks that they take around with them. And what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Of course, Valerie absolutely loves seeing them. She loves animals. And who we talked to was telling the gentleman, you know, you have to be real careful because they will nip you. Okay. They're friendly, but you know, they are also, you know, you got to be careful with that. But that was a lot of fun. I know Valerie brought a smile to Valerie's face. We enjoyed that. That was great seeing them. It was great to connect with them as well too. And I think that's probably the one takeaway. I probably should have communicated to some others that I knew were going to say, hey, you know, you can meet us here at, you know, XYZ spot at this time. You know, let's get together, maybe get something to drink, sit down and talk, whatever. Didn't get a chance. I probably should have done that. And I do regret that. Jeff, welcome. Good to see you. Yes. Ham and Quackers. Yes. Yeah, they are. And actually, those are ducks, and Jeff, and they can be a rather snippy, and that's what the owner told us as well too. So we got to be real careful around them, real careful. But yeah, that's probably one of my regrets is I didn't get connected up with some people that I really wanted to meet, because I did meet a bunch of people in Hamcation. I met Jason. I met Josh. Let's see who else. Met Smoking Ape. Met T.O. Met Mike K at MRD. Met a whole host of people there. But this is funny because, you know, I figured for sure I'd run into somebody, and all I saw was Frank when he was running around. So I'm going to put out some better communication next time before we go. Also, I found out they have a vendor night for it's called 4 Nights in May or 4 Days in May. And it's the QRP organization, and I did join that, and I wanted to find out about that. So I think what Valerie and I are going to do, we're going to adjust our travel plans. We're going to come maybe a couple of days earlier, and at least Thursday night we'll be able to go to that, you know, and be able to pick up our media passes and credentials. Which really, what's nice is if you go on Thursday, if you have media passes, credentials like we did, you're allowed to go in and tour around. You're just not allowed to talk to the vendors unless they talk to you. You had to kind of steer clear of them and let them do their thing because they were going to be quite busy with stuff. But yeah, that's one of the things we're going to do different next year. I think we're going to stay probably closer to Xenia next year. And we're also going to go and Thursday night to the vendor fair that they have for the 4 days in May. I think that would be great. That was a great night. I saw Mike K at MRD. He put out a great video about that. There were a lot of good people there, and a lot of ham YouTubers were there as well too. So that's one of the things that we're probably going to, you know, lesson learn kind of a thing. But all in all, that was a lot of fun. I'm going to show you another clip too, and this is from pretty much after we got there and kind of got our bearings. And I just want to run this clip real quick for you guys. Here, go ahead.
We are here at 2024 Hamvention. It's a very rainy day today. Finally, the rain held off as we got in here. We just got in here. It's a little bit after 11:30 right now. It took a while to get from Columbus. It was very rainy, poured down like crazy. But we're here, and we're going to tour the sights and sounds of Hamvention 2024, and we're going to bring you everything here. We are here at 2024 Hamvention.
You can see behind me right here, there's at least 2 food vendors right there, which, yeah, they spared no expense. They really went all out in having food vendors there to be able to take care of people. And that's a good thing because people get hungry at events like this. But the lines were crazy. They were at least 45 minutes. And like I told Valerie, after we left and we went back to Columbus, we got some lunch there. But all in all, it's one of those things. Do you want to spend 45 minutes in line, or do you want to spend in the building? And I wanted to spend in the building, going around and talking to the vendors there. So, but yeah, those are some of my takeaways. Is I think we're going to go at least a day earlier, and I think we're going to stay in maybe not Xenia proper, but in the general vicinity there, and be a lot closer, probably be within a half hour or so. And that way we can also make ourselves available to go out to eat, because I know I think a lot of the YouTubers went and did that on Friday night and Saturday night. So we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna kind of adjust our plans and still be able to go over to Columbus and force ourselves to spend time with our grandchildren over there, which, by the way, we had a great visit with them. So, and last year, if you guys remember, okay, I broke my left hand, and that prevented us from going to Hamvention 2023 last year. Hey, it's the luck of the draw. I'm fortunate that I didn't get hurt more seriously, and I'm real thankful that we both got to go. Valerie enjoyed herself. I wanted to kind of let you guys know that she enjoyed herself. She enjoyed going around to the different exhibits, seeing some people. I wanted to talk to James from Hamtest Prep. I didn't get a chance to do that, or Professor Jim. I didn't get a chance to talk to them. I really wanted to do that, and I tried to look for them. And you have to understand, there's main buildings there, and then they have like these little buildings that are attached with them. And a lot of the vendors were in some of those little areas, and I didn't see some of them there. So it was really like Gigaparts. I know they were in an area, but I didn't go past their area. So, and you also have to remember too, like I said, we had 35,000 people there, and it was extremely crowded. I mean, extremely crowded. The first day they said usually like on Saturday, the crowd, and especially Sunday, it thins out as far as a crowd is concerned. So, but I wanted to go ahead and do my walkthrough while we were there on Friday. And it took a good 2+ hours to do that walkthrough. Of course, we took breaks in between, but it was great seeing a number of the vendors. And if you get a chance to watch my video, I think it came out really well. I think it gave you a great flavor for what Hamvention is all about. And I don't know, one thing that really kind of floors me is this. I saw somebody, and they bought, I don't know, from HRO or DX Engineering or Gigaparts. I think they bought a Yaesu HF FT10 DX, I think, and they were carrying it around. And I'm like, okay, that's great that you got one, but why didn't you just get it shipped back home? I mean, I don't understand that. And I'm going to say this, after having been to Hamcation a couple of times and Hamvention now, I think one of the number one things that I see there people buying are antennas. I mean, it really, almost every other ham that I saw who had purchased some type of an antenna, whether it was an HT antenna or, a bigger type antenna. It was very interesting to see that when I was going through and looking at all, what all people purchased. It was real interesting. But yeah, and it really kind of floors me again, how all these people who can shop from the convenience of their home, they'll stop at like HRO, and there's like lines 3 or 4 deep with each salesperson there, which is really, it just really kind of floors me, because unless I see something that's going to knock my socks. Well, number one of the big things is you have to understand if you buy something there, there's a booth, and I don't know where it was at. I didn't pass it up, but you could go to have that shipped, or or that vendor, like if it's a big one like HRO or DX Engineering or Gigaparts, they can arrange shipping for you. So to include it with the price. So that's one thing. I can get that, and I know HRO had a number of specials for Hamvention. They had a lot of great Yaesu radios with some real steep discounts, which were fantastic. But that was for that. So yeah, that's part of that. That was part of the deal there. So yeah, I wanted to go by that. Now, gonna go through a couple of other news item notes right here. One of the persons I was really looking forward to trying to get a chance to meet was Michael Martins. From KB9 BBR antennas. I didn't get a chance to meet Michael, and I was disappointed in that because I really like him. I like his channel. He does a great job. He put together a fantastic video here, Camping in Ham Radio, Journey to Hamvention 2024. It's really worthwhile. So spend a few minutes and watch this video. He did a great job on this. I really like it. I really like Michael's style here. He just seems he's a very down-to-earth guy. I really like him, and we're going to get him back on and have him on the show again. Like I said, something that I highly recommend if you get a chance to go ahead and watch that. Now, I do know one of the ones that put out a great video about Hamvention. I'm going to go ahead and bring up his YouTube page. Let's go. Coastal Waves and Wires, Walt. He put out a great video about Hamvention right here, and if you get a chance to, definitely you want to give that a watch. Hamvention 2024. Again, another one that I really wanted to run into because I really like his channel. I really like all he does on there because Walt just keeps it very simple, very basic, very straightforward, and to the point. And I really like his channel, and he does a great job with that. So. Yeah, but you definitely, if you get a chance to, I highly recommend that you get a chance to watch that video he did of Hamvention 2024. And now the other thing that I wanted to go over here is, we all know that. Let's see here. Okay, got this right. Okay, we all know that the Xiegu X6200 came out. Well, our good friend Steve from Temporarily Offline Ham Radio got his hands on one, and it's a pre-production one. He did point that out, and he's already got 3 videos out, and he did a hands-on. It's an unboxing on the 6200. How does it measure up? He did some measurements and things on another one, and another one he looked at to see, because on the 6100 a lot of people experienced birdies on that. So he went ahead and he did that, and I can tell you, please do watch these videos. Steve did a great job on them. My initial reaction from watching these on the 6200, I think it's going to be a great radio. I'm not real crazy about 8 watts and 4 watts, but I think Xiegu took some lessons learned from the 6200 or from the 6100, excuse me, and applied them to the 6200. I really like what I see. I really like the form factor. I really like the detachable battery. That's fantastic. I think that's a good idea. And, so far so good on what Steve has been able to do with testing that. It influenced me so much that I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and I got one. Now, they're going to ship before June the 17th. So, yeah, Jeff, it is a little bit on the pricey side, but I was able to get some discounts and save a little bit of money on it. Plus, they included an extra free battery with it, which is $69, which, I think, and it's every drop in the bucket counts. And if you don't know what Xiegu has done, or I would say Radio Oddity has done, is they had a trade-in program, a tradeless trade-in program. Okay, if you purchased a Xiegu from them previously and had a proof of bill of sale or a receipt, what they would do is they would give you up to $70 trade-in credit towards getting a 6200, which I thought was very interesting. Now, it's supposed to ship on or before June 17th. They also noted, too, that the extra battery, it had to come by boat from China. That's the way. You can't fly those batteries on planes. That's part of the deal as far as that's concerned. So the battery's going to arrive separately from the radio itself. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the possibilities of it. And I think my passion for, I'm going to say this. My passion with ham radio is QRP. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the thrill of making contacts with 5 watts or 10 watts. I think it's just absolutely fantastic. That's why I love my 705. It's like nobody's business. But I'm excited to get the 6200. I really hope that it's going to live up to everything it's supposed to be. We'll see. And it's going to be coming, I would say, probably in the next probably in the next 10 days or so, because they kind of indicated to me via email it's going to come earlier than the 17th. So we're looking forward to that. But I want to thank Steve for doing some great videos on this already. Definitely you want to check them out. He has a real passion for these radios, and he really, if you know Steve, he gets down to the nitty gritty. He gets down to the minutia on it, and he does a fantastic job. We also know that the 6200 has an FT8 decoder in it, which is very interesting. That's some more food for thought. It seems like we're gonna have some fun with it. Gonna get it hooked up, see what we're gonna get. All in all, from what I saw from Steve's videos, I was very pleased with what I saw. Looking at these first passes, so we'll see what goes on there. But all in all, this is where we're at for today. I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a wrap up from Hamvention and my thoughts. We had a great time. I'm anxious to go back next year. Hopefully we can get to Huntsville this year. I'm scheduled for some oral surgery this summer, so I don't know how those plans are going to interfere with that. It may prevent us from going to Huntsville. I do really want to go to that. We did meet the good folks from Huntsville up at Hamcation back in February in Orlando. Really had a great time talking to them. They were some wonderful people. As everybody said, it's the friendliest ham fest. So hopefully, if my oral surgery plans don't interfere, we can get a chance and go to that. So I'm looking forward to that. Jeff, thanks for stopping by tonight. Andy, thanks for stopping by tonight. Cooley, thanks again for stopping by tonight. Really appreciate all you and everybody in the chat. Make sure on the way out that you smash that like button. Really would appreciate that. As always, guys, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7 threes, everybody. Got some more great videos coming out soon, so be watching. Take care.